Today we'll talk about Deshone Kizer.
Redo it. That was bad.
Today we talk about
Deshaun's not the weird part of his name, though.
I know. Today we talk about Deshone Kizer and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Brown, Family Guy.
Oh, dear God.
No.
Jesus.
For the win! He did it!
The Kizer Brown and...
Oh, dear Lord. The Kizer Brown. The next big thing in the NFL. The Kizer Brown.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Except for I do a little.
Alright.
You'll see in this.
Okay. So we're talking about Deshone Kizer
Deshone
and the
Kizer
Cleveland Browns.
and the Cleveland Browns.
Now, this is a big deal because Deshone Kizer is a rookie. He was a rookie quarterback. They named him the starter in for the regular season. I think they named him the starter week 4 of the preseason, which was a big deal because he was the only rookie starter going into the year.
Okay.
Week 7, I believe, is coming up, and they just benched him.
Why?
Because that's how the Browns operate. So that's what we're going to talk about. I have a little history on the Browns. Okay, so the Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
They moved in 1996. So from 96 to 98, there was no team in Cleveland. In 1999, the Cleveland Browns came back. It was an expansion team, so they came back in the form of an expansion team. Since 1999, I'm going to read you all of the names of the starting quarterbacks they've had. Okay? All right, so I just want you to keep count for me while I read the names here. Tim Couch, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson, Spurgeon Wynn, Kelly Holcomb, Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Trent Dilfer, Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, Ken Dorsey, Bruce Gradkowski, Colt McCoy, Jake Delhomme, Seneca Wallace, Brandon Whedon, Thad Lewis, Jason Campbell, Brian Hoyer, Johnny Manziel, Connor Shaw, Josh McCown, Austin Davis, Robert Griffin III, Cody Kessler, Deshone Kizer. How many we had?
Like 26 or 27.
Like 26 or 27.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we're recording this on a Saturday. Tomorrow, they'll be starting Kevin Hogan, which will make like 28 since 1999.
Golly.
Let's go to a team like the Green Bay Packers since 1999. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Let's see. Count them again: Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Flynn, Scott Tolzien, Seneca Wallace. That's 5. And those 5, Brett Favre started every game from 1999 to 2007, all 16 games. And then Aaron Rodgers took over. He started all 16 games 7 times, and he played 15 games 2 times. So of the 3 that weren't Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, it's been a total of 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in 18 years that weren't started by Rodgers or Favre. Compared to like the Browns is just terrible.
Almost
so
30. It's
just like with Deshone Kizer being benched, it's understandable. He's played terrible. I think he's got 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Because I've watched him every week. He doesn't look good, but
why would they ever start? Why would they ever say, "Here's our guy"?
He looked very good in preseason.
Okay.
In preseason, they were running 4 quarterbacks. They only have 2 on the roster now. They had Kizer and Hogan, who Hogan's starting tomorrow. They had Brock Osweiler, who they traded for from the Texans. And then they had a guy that they drafted last year with Kevin Hogan named Cody Kessler, who started 8 games last year. Kessler he looked good last year and went to pieces in preseason. He's not even active. He's on their practice squad. They cut Osweiler, and so Kizer just by far looked like the best. Mm-hmm. But 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions through 6 games. He just looks like shit out there.
I wonder, What do you think caused that? Do you think like him being out there now is like it's just stress got to him or something? Because if he was fine, if he was fine the whole preseason to the point where they're like, okay, this is our guy right here. Here you go, world. Deshone Kizer, #1. And then now he gets out there in front of everybody, just chokes or what?
Yeah, I don't really know what went wrong with it, honestly, because looking at how he was playing in the preseason, it's not like he doesn't have the talent or the athleticism. Like, he's just not making the throws, it seems like. Especially last week, they played the Jets. They played the Jets last week, and the Jets are not a good team. They don't have a good defense. But he threw 2 interceptions in the first half in the red zone. He threw an interception, and then they're running a sweep play, so he made a pitch to the running back. Terrible pitch. So the first one, he's just not making the throws, I think, is it. They put in Kevin Hogan, and the offense just looked immediately different. Like, they have a top 5 offensive line. They've got 2 good running backs. They've got the best rookie tight end in the league, in my opinion. They've got a couple of good wideouts. It's all on Kizer, but him being benched is just what the Browns do, I think. Here's
what comes to mind. So, there's a old UFC fighter named Basrutin, and he trains people now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty respected in the MMA world. And this way he said, whenever I'm talking to my guys who have a fight coming up, and they're nervous, they're really nervous or whatever, and they're scared to go out and to fight. And then he's just like, okay, well, he talks about like their mental game too. He's like, okay, imagine you and whoever you're about to go fight, you go into a room and there's no one else in there, just you two. You shut the door, lock it, and no one goes in, no one goes out until after the fight's over, and the fight comes out. You guys come out done from the fight, and you don't tell anybody who won or who loses. Like, do you really care? And he's like, no, I don't care. Well, why don't you care? Well, because no one knows. Well, what if you lose a fight? Well, they say, well, sometimes you lose a fight, and sometimes you win a fight. It's really okay. And so they say, well, then the thing that you're scared about is the people. And the things that people will say about you, and the things that people will think about you, and who you are. You're not always the person that people think you should be, right? Mm. And so that could have something to do with like, okay, so in preseason he was on fire. He was doing really good to the point. Well. Yeah. But there wasn't as many eyes watching. It was kind of like they had a fight in a room. The pressure wasn't on him. So maybe he's got the skills, but his mindset isn't prepared for playing in an NFL team.
I think that might have a lot to do with it. Yeah, I think you're onto something, but I don't know, because it's not like the Browns fan base turned on them, because it's been such a revolving door for the past 18 years that
they're used to it.
Yeah, they're used to it. Yeah, like this is what the Browns do, bench a starter, a rookie after 5 games, but it's not like they turned on him.
Well, no, it's not the fact that like even if people don't publicly turn on him or anything, it's the fact that he has to live up to. I mean, how many people watch him every week? You think?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's like I need to be what these people are tuning in to make watch us win. Or at least play a good game. And so the expectations that people have of him, maybe it just shuts him down. Really, what he really probably needs is not to be benched right away. What he probably needs is like a sports psychiatrist, Like sometimes, like he needs someone to like sit with him and be like, hey, listen, like, preseason, close practices, you didn't care. You were awesome. That's why you were the starting quarterback. But now he doesn't have the mindset for this, like to be on a stage this big. Plus, I mean, I know we talked about before, there is a lot of controversy in that sport right now with like the kneeling of the flag and stuff. Yeah. So like he's probably has like all that going through his mind too,
I'm not so sure. I just think he's like my age. He's maybe younger than me.
Yeah.
Like, he's 22, 23, 24. It's such a hard position to play, period, quarterback is.
Because you're like the captain.
Yeah. Like
you're like the leader.
You're working 14-hour days all season, but he's like, coming in as a rookie to be a starter, like there's a reason he's the only starting quarterback that's a rookie in the league. Like it's not a position for a rookie necessarily. Like,
well, probably because of all the pressure.
He was a second-round pick. I think he was the first quarterback off the board in the second round. 3 quarterbacks were taken in the first round. So I don't know if he's got pressure on him, like being the only rookie starting quarterback or whatever, but like there was a reason that the Bears didn't start Mitch Trubisky, or Deshaun Watson wasn't the starter for the Texans, or Mahomes didn't start for the Chiefs. Like, it's just, like, if it's possible to wholeheartedly agree with the Browns starting Kizer from week 1 and disagreeing, like, I would be right there. Because I'm like, yeah, he by far looked the best. Like, he looked way better than Hogan. There's a reason Kessler's inactive right now, and the reason we cut Osweiler. But at the same time, it's like, man, he's 22. He has no experience. He played for Notre Dame in college. So, he doesn't even have, like, SEC quarterback experience, which it would help, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know. Like, I agree with benching them because I watched the game last week where they put Kevin Hogan in at halftime. Offense was completely different. Offense was clicking, went right down the field, and he made great throws. Kizer made piss-poor throws, piss-poor decisions. He just looks like shit. I don't know where that talent went, but I don't agree with him starting him at all. Like, compared to the Bears. All right, so the Bears signed this guy from the Bucks. The Bucks backup quarterback, Mike Glennon, to be their starter. But then they drafted a quarterback, number 2 overall, Mitch Trubisky. They started Trubisky last week. So Glennon started the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then Trubisky started 1 week. I think the Browns should have done something like that. Like, I don't know what good it does sitting in 5 weeks, but you don't throw them into the fire week 1 where it's like the league's popping, everyone's excited about the new year.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think, because it's like I agree with the benching and I disagree with the benching at the same time. Like, I don't know what to think about it.
But, yeah, but also, okay, so let's think about the people who are making the decisions, right? To put them in, to not put them in. So you got to think, like, they're looking at the expectations of their fans as well, right? So if you think about preseason, yeah, sure, he's never probably experienced anything this intense before to play on, to a public this big. But you got to think, like, the fans of the Browns, they definitely know how good he did in the offseason too, right? Because so surely, the hardcore Browns fans, they definitely know. So you don't put him in at the beginning, throw him into the fire. Now you got all the fans, like, heck, like he was killing it, like, put him in. So on one hand, it's like, okay, he definitely looked the best. It makes a lot of sense to put him in. But then on the other hand, you're like, well, he's never really done this before.
Exactly. That's the dilemma. That was, I'm sure, the dilemma with Hugh Jackson was starting him. But now at this point, you've got to think about the kid's team, confidence. Like, something I read that I didn't really think about. I was reading the thread on Reddit that was showing that Kevin Hogan was starting. And they said, we may never see Deshone Kizer start again.
Oh, man.
Like, if Kevin Hogan goes out and does incredible and, becomes their starter, like, no one's going to pick up Kizer, I don't think. Even as good as he looked in the preseason, only being a rookie or second year, third year, whenever he comes off the books on this contract, like, I don't think anyone would pick him up. He may never start another game. But what happens if Hogan does mediocrely, Kizer goes through training camp again next year and wins the job? Like, his confidence surely would be shot at this point. I don't know where he's at now. Like, he's been really positive in the media since the benching, but there's no way his confidence hasn't taken a hit. Now,
there is that. But then there's the flip side, which for Kizer, this may happen. And I'll tell you what, if it does, it's great news for his career. So the Koreans, I think it's the Koreans, they have something called Han. And what that is like, it's like this want to prove everybody wrong. Like this desire, it drives them to succeed. And so what could happen is now he's kind of showed himself to break under the lights. Under the pressure, he cracks, right? But he could have this build up inside of him, which makes him blow up to the point where he just all he cares about is proving everyone wrong. All he cares about is proving the fans wrong, proving his coaches, his teammates wrong, everything. And that pressure starts to die because of how much he wants to just show everyone like I'm number one, like I'm the man. And then it just boom, it skyrockets his career. So I can see either of those things happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll find out what kind of guy he is.
It's interesting.
What kind of player he is.
Yeah.
But, it was a unique situation when he was named the starter, and it's really the same thing now that he's been benched. So, I don't know. As a sort of Browns fan, I don't really claim any fanship in the NFL currently. But as kind of a Browns fan, like I'm all on the Kevin Hogan train. He's looked really good in limited action this year, so I don't know. Hopefully they give Kizer the rest of the year to just learn.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Get him a psychiatrist or something. Because that may be it. I mean, that's what I feel. But here's what I will say. Because I don't know. It's looking like we may wrap this thing up. Here's what I will say about the Browns. This is coming from a guy who doesn't know the NFL at all.
Okay.
One thing I always hear about the Browns from people, whether it's at a restaurant, whether we're having lunch, usually it's a couple hours after they eat. I always hear the Browns going to the Super Bowl. And that's got to be good. That's the biggest game of the year.
Oh, my
right?
God.
Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. Everyone's got them in the Super Bowl, man. Everyone. If I was a betting man, I bet on the NFL. I'm betting Browns go to the Super Bowl. Seems like every week I hear about it. So,
thanks for listening. You're the cheesiest person I've ever met.